All right, as promised today, I'm going to talk a little bit about vehicle ops. We don't do like a whole op as vehicles. Generally, we'll just do this when we see an opportunity. In this case, we saw that NC were growing in number on the Eastern Front compared to the TR. So at Frostfall Overlook and Geological Survey, these are two bases that can be very well controlled by using vehicles. The very first thing I want to talk about in setting up vehicle play is the difficulty, and you'll see this right now, of getting your vehicles to work together. I put a rally point that was away from the front of the battle because I wanted us to group up and not be engaged in the battle and taking damage and be sort of sparse, particularly because we're going to be running a repair ball sunder group. But you can see that the draw of action is really just hard for some people to ignore, and it's very frustrating to see this from your own teammates at times. So you can see the people who make the biggest impact to me are the people that will listen to me in the middle of a firefight and follow the orders. And you can see here that we got Warbird and me, of course, piled up right together, but we have a number of people already trying to get engaged in this fight. And the reason why you want to be grouped up is because when it comes to vehicle fights like this, there is a lot of DPS that can come out at you, and just honestly, if you take little bits of damage and you have to go get repaired while you're trying to make a push, you are really slowing down the whole group, because you need all of you to move across a very vulnerable spot. And if you're taking early damage before you're ready to do that, then you're not going to be in a good place. So thankfully, with the Sunder Repair Ball, you can sort of mitigate many of those risks and do some good work. The next biggest thing is to stay grouped up no matter what you're doing, right? So like to stay tight, you can see us trying to keep our repair senders nice and tight throughout this next push. Importantly, I would say the next thing is to know where your escapes are. Always be close to cover. You can see me taking our group into the rocky hills on the eastern side. That's another very important thing to be doing if you're running multiple vehicles. So you're trying to keep yourselves fairly close together generally, particularly with this kind of composition. Now, I can talk another time about harasser composition, because that plays out differently. In this case, we're going down this pathway that allows us some cover from all the NC that were across the other side of the road, and we're staying together. And you can just see that like this Vanguard has no chance at taking us on at all. Now, the vehicle fight clearly comes down to these couple of aspects when it comes to repair ball sunder groups, which is, again, staying grouped, staying close to cover, and picking targets would be the third thing I would then say, which is if you alpha a target, if you focus fire a target, you do a significant amount of damage, and those callouts need to be going out. It's particularly important when you do have multiple vehicles as well, with like harassers, that they're the ones sort of watching your flanks like there, and the lightnings are sort of on the side and behind. You don't want anybody getting too far away, and you want them to be able to fall in behind the Sunder repair ball when they take any damage. Alright, so I'm just going to let this play out, showing the importance again of staying tight, staying close to cover, and focus firing. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Now the lightning, kill the lightning, kill the lightning, kill the lightning, please. Lightning dies, then the second Sunday dies.
Lightning on road, north.
Oh, kill the beacon, kill the beacon.
It's dead. I'm hopping out the rep.
Oh shit.
We are just wrecking shit. Holy crap.
North side.
One more Sunder over on ammo tower.
Lightning coming up road. Focus that, guys.
Get shots on those mines, guys.
We're gonna move forward slowly, guys. Move forward slowly and to the right. We're gonna duck to the right. We're gonna duck to the right.
Copy.
Ducking to the right.
Look out, sniper.
Very slow. Very slow.
Crossfall.
No, when I say slow, I mean fucking slow. Or done.
Alright, so you can see there we did pretty well. We cleared a lot of stuff on, and I want to talk on the second part of vehicle play, which honestly has a lot to do with base design. And it's not something we use always, but it's definitely something that we do make use of sometimes, which is The ability for vehicles to influence battles directly on point. In this case, we actually can drive our senders in. You can see us struggling to get them in here. It's going to be a little difficult. Not everyone got the right angle. But you will see in this upcoming fight just how powerful, particularly repairable senders are, even though we're Basilisk, at controlling fights with an open point like this. Clearly, when you have tanks as well that have line sights of enemy points or enemy routes to point, that can hugely affect the battle as well. And it's quite honestly pretty ridiculous how important vehicles are into controlling larger scale fights. It's a divisive issue, I guess. Some people hate that vehicles can influence fights so directly. I for one, wish there was a better separation between infantry and vehicles in some ways, and that part of the issue remains that most of the purpose of vehicles is to basically kill other infantry. So to kill other vehicles and then to kill other infantry. And the only places for infantry to fight over are over points, so it's only natural that you get vehicles and figure out ways to get your vehicles to influence those points. Larger scale issue, I wish there was something more for vehicles to do than to do this, like that there was something more important that we could be doing with vehicles. I was hoping that the construction update was going to be precisely that, but it turns out that the construction update didn't really provide that. I mean, construction update basically said, you know, here's your base. It's either going to be defended, in which case it's not going to be worth your time, or you're going to be able to take it out if you just drop some people in a galaxy suicide drop and take out the hive that it's protecting. So in that semblance, basically we're left with, like, what do you do with vehicles? So we basically cleared out the vehicle fight, and we're being outnumbered here on point for quite a while because we are the first TR here. And we just thought it would be fun to see if we could do this, see how far we could push, and see how far we could stay alive. So I'm just gonna let this play out in just a second here with comms again. But I want to say, when you're playing tight like this, obviously we don't have the best setups because we're an anti-vehicle group. But repair ball sunders, hugely important in battles that you can get vehicles between the defending infantry and point. You can just see how much damage we take and how much we survive through. And you cannot deny the effectiveness of vehicles this way. My commentary on this as well, again, I really hope that they close up some of these base designs so you cannot do this. I mean, even the octagon, you can get a harasser over a jump into the octagon. And I have a video out there too for that if you want to see how ridiculous that can be, where I just basically get a bunch of road kills from defenders coming out. And while it's hilarious for me, I'm sure it's not very fun for a lot of people. So yeah, let's just watch how this plays out, and I'll talk about it at the end again.
Back. Right next to you. Right next to you.
Yeah, I know. Oh shit, we're out of ammo. I'm just gonna put this thing in the way here.
Yeah, just put it in the way and then sit on it as best as you can.
Yep, copy.
Can you drive that honest over that lift?
No.
Or stuck.
No, I got stuck on that weird ass lift. It was like going downhill at 45 degrees.
There's a guy, I don't know where he is, but he's got shots on me from above that thing.
I'm down.
Okay, Bravo, start bringing in fucking medics and heavies here onto these sunders and try to hold these things out as long as you can. May get your sunder close to Lepelos.
Remember, this is the Great Wall here. As long as they're firing on this, they're not firing on us.
Fuck. I got C4. They're close. They're very fucking close. Alpha, get in here quick. We got 2 minutes left. It's fun.
Yeah, Alpha, we need you getting on point as best as you can.
I see me.
Yeah.
Rollins, let him up.
So just before I move forward a little bit, let me just mention how effective it was, even without ammo left in our guns, to be there on point with repair ball sunders. They were just tossing damage out towards our sunders, and we were out-repping it. Now, if you saw the map earlier, we were being outnumbered at the start, In fact, if you look at the map coming up here too, you can see that it still remains a pretty even fight in the hex. I did want to mention one thing about the hex numbers though, is if you watch particularly the earlier part of the fight compared to now, just how many TR were not even involved in this fight at the start. Even at this point of the fight, if you were to zoom out, you could see the amount of vehicles that weren't involved directly on this fight. And it's a very frustrating thing we see in general. And this gets us outside of the vehicle ops for a second, which is the discussion of those hex numbers and why it doesn't feel like everything's a 50-50 fight, even if it shows it is. I can't tell you how many times we see a faction that doesn't put their all into playing the objective. Like, for instance, if you just have vehicles out in the middle of nowhere in your hex, that's basically pop that's not being used in the direct fight, and it can really influence what the actual fight numbers are. In our situation, because we did have these vehicles as quote-unquote force multipliers, we were able to take this point even being down in population, never mind most of that population being tied up in vehicles outside of the point for a good minute to 2 minutes there. As you just saw too, we ended up taking the base with our name on it, which is not too surprising because of the value of all those repairs going off of one another. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll probably be doing a series of Improving Your Gaming series next week, and stepping back from gameplay and analysis next week. So hopefully you'll find that useful, so stay tuned for that, and thanks again for tuning in.